Wicken Thompson.
Always be sure you settle for more. Get up to 35% off Beacon's fully comprehensive vehicle insurance and still cover a whole lot more. Enjoy higher discounts and better coverage for any kind of vehicle, car, SUV, or pickup with free loss of use, windscreen cover, and special perils. To sign up, call us at 440-4447 or log on to beacon.co.tt and settle for more today.
2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6.
Education multiplies their chances and places the world of opportunity in their hands. No matter where they are in the world, make sure they are prepared for their journey back to school with Western Union. School fees, books, room and board, whatever the reason. Knowledge, independence, opportunity. Western Union, moving money for better.
Saying good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning again to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here at Power 95 today. It's indeed a beautiful Tuesday. The sun is out. It's a great atmosphere. Trust me, I could feel that whole celebration vibe in Grenada right now. It is a vibe. I'm going to use that word. It's a vibe. All right. And I just want to take the time to again say kudos to, those who are making it happen. Trust me, you guys are making it happen. 50, it's a big deal. And we are exhibiting exactly that. Exactly that. So kudos to you guys. And we're looking forward to not only the next couple days. So let me correct myself immediately, but we're looking forward to this entire 2024 as we celebrate Grenada's 50th anniversary. So guys, come on in the live, hit that share button immediately. I have an amazing guest with me in studio and we have lots to discuss. So guys, just hit that share button one time. And without any further ado, I would like to welcome my guest to the ladies' room today. He is none other than the man, the legend, the living legend, Mr. Ricardo Keynes Douglas.
Wow. Hi, Karim. It's a pleasure to be here.
Hello,
everybody.
A pleasure to have you.
Yeah, it's really nice. I think it's my first time chatting with you, so
yeah, for
it's
sure.
Really nice.
For sure. How are you today, though?
Very good, Down a lot of work. Been working a lot, regarding independence and stuff. But the weather is so beautiful outside.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's a nice vibe. It's a nice and the energy outside is really beautiful.
Definitely. Yeah. My point exactly. So, Mr. Keynes Douglas, I mean, it is our first time chatting, as you say. So, before we dive right into it, just give us a sense of who exactly is Ricardo Keynes Douglas. I know a lot of folks hear the name. It's sort of like a household name here in Grenada. But who is Ricardo Keynes Douglas?
Well, I've been in this business now for over 40 years, 50 years. So age-wise. I'm a writer, playwright internationally. I have like 15 children's books out in 5 different languages. I produce shows, I direct plays, I write plays. I do pretty much everything. Internationally, I've had my own TV show on CBC Canada, my own radio show in Canada on CBC internationally. I've traveled performing all over. So, just that's me. Nice, simple, humble little guy in Grenada. But my home is also in Canada. So,
Okay. So you're
yeah.
back and forth a
Yeah,
bit.
back and forth. I come down for a few months, but my home, Grenada is always home, no matter what.
Definitely.
So I do theater, a lot of theaters, a lot of plays. So pretty much that carnival bands. I brought a carnival band, and pretty much everything. Since that's my life. That's what God has blessed me with, and I live, breathe, eat, sleep the arts. So
A lot of love coming in on the
Yeah.
live already.
yeah.
So let's dive right into it. I mean, we're talking our Golden Jubilee right now. It's 50 years.
Right.
It is a big deal, like I keep saying. But let's talk about your experience a bit, your independence experience. What was the feeling and the atmosphere like during that time?
Well, it was incredible because a lot of people, they did, the fights for independence. Some people wanted it, some people didn't want it. And Gary, in those days, he wanted independence because before that, it was a statehood, and he was a premier. And to get independence would have been a big thing for him. And there's a lot of opposition, and most people too. I think there was a saying that people really wanted independence, but they didn't want it under Eric Gary.
Right.
But Gary is such a charismatic person. I mean, he did, no matter what people say, he did his bit. He did a lot for this country, going back to the workers on the fields, plantation, raising the pay for women, education. He was the one who's the airport. He had the airport vision from way back to that. Has been said. So, but and that night too of the independence, it was in darkness because that whole 2 days was a blackout. But Gary decided it will happen, and they went up to the fort and they shone car lights onto the flag, and
Really?
yes, they brought that flag up in the dark, and he had his own little fireworks, everything. He planned it, no matter what, it was going to happen. So it was quite a magical moment for Grenada, no matter what, And he is the father of independence, and Grenada has grown. Grenada has went through turmoil, a lot of triumphs, a lot of upheavals, a lot of revolutions, everything. But again, from Perón right up to today. But we are such a resilient people that, I mean, we survive, and we will survive, and we'll continue to survive. And as the song said, the theme song says, and it's up, 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 we are going. And that's a really positive feel. And I think this independence, being the 50th independence, to come to this moment, I think is a moment of coming together. It's not, for me, this is what I do. I don't work for, per se, governments.
Right.
I work for Grenada. And I think that's how you have to look at the 50th. It's not about a division. It's about bringing everybody together. So the 50th coming to this level now, and this moment in our lives, in anybody's life, it's a moment of coming together and celebrating where we are, who we are as a people. One people, one future, one journey, one future. So that's what it's about.
What do you think motivated the Mr. Eric Gary at the time? Because you said he in his mind it was going to happen, no matter what.
No matter what.
Where do you think that motivation came from?
Because he was a visionary.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look at SGU. It's because of Gary we have SGU, and it's one of the most important things to the country right now. SGU University. Gary is a man with a vision. Gary is a man who would go away, like for instance, the first roundabout was because of Gary. Gary traveled, and he saw roundabouts wherever he traveled, and he came back. He said, "I'm having roundabouts." Same with Expo 69. Expo 67 happened in Canada, and he went to Canada after Expo 67. And when he came back, he said, "We can do that in Grenada." So he had Expo 69, which was the biggest thing in those days, in 1969, and he brought the whole Caribbean together. So that's the kind of mentality he had. Yeah, he had. And that vision. People, you go wrong, you go right. People do things, whatever the case may be. But when you think of Sir Matthew Gary, he did a lot. And no matter what people say, the wrong, I keep saying the wrong or the bad, every leader, they have their moments and they have their sides.
Definitely.
Yeah. But we must not, there's a lot of anger still from the Gary days, from the Revo days, from this days, but that's not going to make you move forward. And we just can't keep fighting each other. So we have to come to an understanding what is important. Is it the country or is it the politics? And I always say, loyalty to party cannot build a country. It's loyalty to
It's a
country
country.
builds a country, you know. So we have to come to that understanding as a people. And I feel it out there. You know, this 50th, I'm going around and it's a nice vibe. And to be honest, it's a nice feeling. I just came from the market. I was waiting to come on to the show. So I did a walk through the market. You know, I've got a lot of friends in there. So it's all, oh, Mr. Katie, and we chatting. And it's just a nice energy. All the shows that have gone by so far, they were very successful.
Great
And
turnouts.
great turnouts, and it's a nice vibe. And that is what we have to keep, not only for independence. I think that vibe should not leave us going forward.
For
You
sure.
know, so I think if we take this 50th as a grounding now to move forward, this is where we planted the seed for the next 50 years. And this is what will start happening for the future.
Definitely. That independence process, though, would you say it was a difficult time or?
Well, it is. I mean, we're still in the Commonwealth, you know, and you know, England, and so I mean, they still wanted to. They didn't mind getting rid of. They're still not. The Queen is the King is still the head of the state.
Yeah.
That's why we have the GG. You know, some people felt that we should have stayed with under the Queen and stuff, and we'd have gotten more out of it. But we're still part of the Commonwealth, and we are still connected to the King, you know, to England. And some people say, well, what have we gotten since independence? Where are we at this point with independence? Do we have certain things? Are we really independent in the sense that we can really survive on our own? But we're 100,000 people. We don't have making money in the basements like America and England, and so we can't go in the basement and say we can make $1 billion. So we still survive on outside because we just don't have the capabilities, you know, medically and all these. We just don't do it. We just can't do it. And then nutmeg and stuff, we were the best quality in the world, second in the world for exports. But then Ivan came and destroyed all of that. So it's all starting over again. But we have to, as a nation now, we have to start thinking of, because we import more than we export.
Yeah.
Millions upon millions, right? So we have to start now thinking of how we can survive on our own, in the sense of we start thinking of exporting stuff. Like if we have to make factories, if we have to do this, and that is called independent, by trying to create your own thing and surviving on what you have. But it is impossible because we're a small country. I keep telling people, you're only 100,000 people. So it has to do a lot with management, you know, education is very, very important. And that education will get you out of any hole. And that's very important. We have to push education with the youth and a love of country and appreciation of country, because people are educated, but they don't appreciate. I can show you a beautiful mural on the wall in the tunnel. I educate you about it, but do you appreciate it? In the sense of you'll pass and throw mud on it.
Right.
And that's where we have the difference between education and appreciation. So those two have to come together, you know? So I think right now there's a nice energy, and I think it has to start from the schools. And we keep seeing that every interview you hear people say it has to start from the schools. It has, you know, always. And we keep saying that, but we really have to make that effort and say, yes, we have to start from the schools. Now we have to appreciate who we are as a people, as artists, you know, because I get more, I'm not saying I get more, but when I go abroad into the schools and everywhere, I mean, I go into schools, my books and everything's up on the walls, the posters, that they know who I am, that, you know, and that's the kind of appreciation I'm saying, that we need to respect our people. And when you put foreigners ahead of you, I'm not putting on foreigners because, you know, I'm just saying, when the lack of respect for our locals, it bothers me, you know. But again, locals, artists, and so have to realize that you have to pay your dues. Doing one song or one poem or one play does not make you a hero.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to go from zero to hero, you know.
In no time,
you know, and it's a body of work. And, you know, so when somebody has done a body of work, they say, but they're up there, they're doing this, and you feel you only have one song. My song was a hit last year, whatever the case may be. I should get the same thing. No, you have to pay your dues, you know, and people have got to understand that it's work, it's hard work, it's sacrifice. Let me tell you, I used to be a dishwasher in Toronto, in Montreal, when I was going to theater school. Because my father sent me abroad, but he couldn't keep, you know, up with a lot of money in those days, you know. So, but for me to survive in my theater classes, in my diction, in my voice class, my singing class, my dance classes, I had to work extra. And it's because the love of what I wanted to do, you know. So that is what I'm trying to say. We have to work hard because people come to me and they say, I want to be part of your theater.
Right.
I want you to teach me to be theater. When they come in and they realize the work, you don't see them. There's a couple of soca artists who came to me and said, you know, could you teach me? Could you work with me on singing and stuff? And I said, but you have to go through the voice classes and stuff. But they don't want to go through that. They say, I want to sing that song now. You know, I said, no, it doesn't work so, you know. So these
Shortcuts.
It's a shortcuts. So it's a dedication and it's a sacrifice. I'm talking about the artist now, yeah. But this applies to every profession. And I teach this is my motto. It's called the 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. The 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. So if you prepared in life, you will always be ready to perform. Some people get a job today and the next day they're going and taking singing classes, they're taking this, they're doing that, they're looking things up on Google and stuff. No, you have to be ready for when that opportunity knocks. You know, so that is my motto in life, and I try to pass that on.
I love it.
And I'm always ready. The 5 P's: proper preparation prevents poor performance, and not only in the arts, in every single thing you do at home. Just cooking a meal, proper preparation. People, if you prepare that meal, you season it, you have your gas going, you have everything, and when you're ready to cook it,
everything is there.
Everything is there. As simple as that. You know. So that's why I feel with the 50, you know, the journey we are going through now, I think we have to be on that level of proper preparation prevents poor performance moving forward.
Definitely. We're at 50.
Yeah.
Do you think that we have developed? Do you think that we have grown as a nation since our independence?
Yeah, I think so. Just looking around in the buildings, there's certain things I wish would be much better. Like health. You know, I wish we were at a higher level, but the hospitals, they still do their best. You know, there are a lot of good things that happen because I know a lot of people love to come back to Grenada to live, but because of health, hospitals, they're kind of scared of coming back. You know,
right.
Education has improved, I think. Tourism has improved. But what has to improve, I keep saying, is the education. We have to stick to that because people are still telling me today people can't write letters when they're applying for a job. And you experience it, I'm sure, you know.
For sure.
And why is it in 2024 that the kids are coming out of school and they can't write a letter or they can't do this? So these are the things.
Even construct an email, something as simple as
exactly.
an email etiquettes.
Exactly. And another thing I keep telling people, somebody sent me an email asking me to be part of something, and the email address is Sexy Anna. I said, you cannot. I said, you cannot, if you're applying for a job in a bank, you cannot send an email saying it's coming from Sexy Anna. Immediately, I'm just using Sexy Anna as an example, you know. So these are the little things.
But mind your business, 1, 2, 3.
Yes. But Grenada has grown. I mean, especially after Ivan. When I see how resilient we are, that we came back after Ivan, it has grown. But I would like to see more like factories happening where utilizing agriculture more. I want to see us move forward with that. The fisheries, we have things like that. I'd love to see us moving forward with things like that.
Definitely. Mr. Keynes Douglas, now that we're here, I know that you are a part of some of the events, celebrations, and so like I said, you are a household name here in Grenada. So we are definitely looking forward to these productions that you have for us. So I'm going to start with the folk event.
Okay,
we're going to start with that one, and then we're going to end with that grand celebration on the 7th.
Okay.
So let's start with the folk event.
Okay, folk in the town. It's called folk in the town. And I had this vision of changing up in St. George's town into just a wonderful pedestrian event. So what's that's going to be? So on the 8th, it starts at 7:30. I'm going to have this massive stage on the Esplanade.
Right.
So if you stay at the top of Market Hill and you look straight down on to Grand Bay Street onto the Esplanade, you'll be able to see the stage, right? So that evening it'll be all pedestrian,
Mhm.
and that evening is just going to be all folk. There'll be storytelling. There's going to be Shango dancing, ballet. There's going to be pan. There's going to be folk singing. There'll be choirs. There'll be jokes. All of that. What it used to be like in the 50s, 60s, 70s.
Right.
Right. So I want to get back that community feel where you come and you sit and you enjoy just old talk. That kind of feel. And it will be a high energy thing. I'm asking people to come dressed in folk outfit. There are folk outfit and things like that.
Mhm.
There'll be food. There'll be a band, Sheldon, and somebody.
Octane.
Octane, yeah, they'll
Mhm.
be there. There'll be singers. It's going to be a lovely, fun evening for the family. Start at 7:30 to 10:30. And it's going to be quite magical. I can even maybe do a little performance, do the Laja Bless story, because in those days, in the 40s and 50s and 60s,
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
young people today, they should know about Laja Bless. It is part of our culture. It's our folk character, one of the folk characters. I know about Spider-Man and
Batman.
Batman and Ariel, the mermaid.
Mhm,
But do they
mhm,
know
mhm.
about this about Laja Bless and Sukuya and Ligaru and Baku, So that is when you come down there that night, you're going to get all them stories. So if you're standing up next to somebody, there's no Laja Bless have one human foot and one cow foot. Yeah, sure you didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, okay,
I
good,
do
good.
that. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So you might be standing next to Laja Bless that night. So just be prepared
Yeah.
when you come to folk in the town. Check the person next to you, okay? So there's going to be that kind of fun, So I just wanted to be want to be a family outfit. You can outing. You can bring your children
Mhm.
and just get an experience of what it used to be like. We have like Robert White.
White.
Robert going to come down with his quattro. I said, Robert, it's no big thing. I just want you to come and sit down on the stage, play your quattro, and sing old talk, and just old talk with us, sing, So we're gonna bring back all the Sparrow old tunes,
Mhm.
things like that. So it's gonna be a nice magical evening, and we're gonna try and make it. And then I have a special thing that's coming down Market Hill. I can't tell you
Want to
what
give
it
us
is.
a hint? Give us a
No,
hint.
I ain't
Give us
giving
a
you a
hint.
hint. You have to come down. At a certain point of the evening, I just gonna say, ladies and gentlemen, turn around and look up Market Hill. And when you look at the top of Market Hill, you're going to see something. So that's the kind of magic I want to create in the town. And it'd be a wonderful thing to have that annually. But and the police have just been incredible. Listen, kudos to the police. They've been just working with us, with the Independence Committee and the people in the shows, and blocking off this and blocking off that,
Right.
and working. They're just been fantastic. So I really want to send out kudos to the RJ Royal Grenada Police Force.
As we on this topic of folk,
Yeah.
would you say that is a part of our history that we have lost, eh?
Well, we haven't lost it, but if we're not careful, we might lose it.
Mm.
We're still doing, people are still writing books, still telling stories, trying to pass on that kind of stuff to the younger generation. The ballet dancing and the Shango and the Veko, because I'm a traditional man. I love traditional master. I love Veko and I love Shortney. So all of those things I try and present as much as I'm doing. If I'm doing cricket or if I'm doing anything, I try and incorporate those things
Into it.
And I want the young people now to start wanting to play Veko, plan to play Shortney, play Indian, And I try not to say wild Indian anymore. I just think it's politically incorrect, because they weren't wild or it's all Apaches. I always say the Indians, So we can't lose, and that's why storytelling is so important. That's why going into the schools is so important, and we have to get kids away. For instance, people are looking; they have their phones, and they're trying to film something that's happening in front of them, something so beautiful. But what's happening? They're not experiencing the moment.
Yeah.
What they're doing, they're looking through a phone to go home and experience the moment. You see, because they want to post it, they want to do this. So they're not putting down the phone and being part of what's happening right in front of them.
Trying to understand what's happening in front of you.
Exactly. So the phone and those things can be very, it has its good and it has its bad, So, for instance, like the Nutmeg Princess, I wrote that because when in Toronto, when I was doing a session with maybe about 500 kids, and there were a couple of black kids in the class. And they put up their hand and they say, "Sir, do you know a story of a black princess?" And at the time, Karima didn't. but they knew all the Cinderellas, the Snow Whites, and the Sleeping Beauties, the blondes and the blue eyes. No, but they never heard about a princess that looked like them. They could open the book and see themselves reflected on the page. And that's how the Nutmeg Princess came about. That's why I decided I'm going to write a story about a princess of color that they can open the book and say, hey, that, you know, that princess looks like me. That's me. I can be a princess too. I can be a prince, you know? So these are the positive images that I think we need. We need to pass on to our youth, and same with the storytelling and the folk. The folk is very important in the schools.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because right now, I mean, if you just ask, okay, what is Laja Bliss? Sukunya, these kind of things like that. I mean, the answers you might get maybe, I heard the name before, but I don't really know what it is.
Exactly.
You know, even for me, I don't even know the full story.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, you know, so that's why I asked the question. But what do you think that we can do to sort of keep that culture alive, that legacy, so that these stories and so on could live on and be a rich part of our culture? The same way right now, nothing could take away the jab, for example.
Exactly. Yes.
Jab is here with us.
Yeah.
You know, so what can we do now to sort of have these other folk cultures in that same you know, in that same space with jab and pretty mass and all these things.
But things like folk
know?
in the town, things like that. Our community should have storytelling nights, you know, and especially get stories from your grandmother, from your mother, from your father. Get those stories, pass it on to the young people. Communities should, you know, have like under a full moon night, we say only storytelling. Bring the family, and that's how you pass things out. You can do it too. You can have 5 minutes, you know, on your radio and say, you know, let me talk about Laja Bless. You know who Laja Bless is? Or let me talk about Sukunya. Remember, you know, that bam, bam, bam. So you pass it on. And the people who are listening to you will be able to tell the younger brother or the younger sister. You see, and that's how things get passed on. But it's very, very important to not make our folk special. When I say special, I mean it should be just part of our living.
Right.
You don't put it on the side and you take it off the shelf, because then it doesn't become part of us. It's something it's on the side. You bring it on when you feel like it. You should be living it. It should be organic, you know. So it just folk is just part of us. When we know all the folk songs. Everybody know a Laja Bless story. You know, they go to a party and say, and who knows a Laja Bless story? Everybody should get up. Oh, yeah, I know that one. I know that one.
Exactly.
You know? Just like who know a jab song? Everybody can sing a jab song, you know. So that is how I think we have to inculcate it, bring it into our psyche. That is just part of us. It's not something we bring on a special occasion. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, Mr. Keynes Douglas, we got some information on the big day from Miss Crosby this morning. That's the 7th at the National Stadium. From a production standpoint, give it to us.
Well,
what can we expect on that day?
Well, that day is going to be a lovely day. It's going to be magnificent, in the sense of the parade starts at 2:00 from they march into the stadium, but the actual event starts at 2:30 when they come into the stadium. So that the arrival of the Governor General, the Prime Ministers, all the dignitaries, etc., etc. And that's going to be a magnificent 2 hours of all the military stuff which we have used to, you know. So this is going to be even more, because we have visiting people, visiting groups from abroad coming in to take part in it.
Right.
So it's very, very technical, and timing is very, very essential. So after all of that happens, and plus there's going to be a big exhibition happening outside. So we're asking people to come early, get your seats, get dressed up, bring your little, no coolers, no big, massive coolers. Bring your little small cooler that can sit next to your foot. No bottles, no breakables.
Okay.
You can bring your snacks, you know, a little this, a little that to eat, you know, along the way. And then after that, we have a big cultural event on the field. It's in the cricket stadium. And I'm trying, because it's the future, I'm trying to use youth a lot. So I have like 900 performers.
Woo!
900 performers.
900.
Yes, close to 1,000 performers.
Wow.
So it's good. And I'm trying to use the young people, because I want this to be a memorable moment that they will live for the rest of their life. At the next 50 years, I'm not going to be here for sure. You might be, right? I'm not going to be here. And it's something that they will take with them and pass it on. So it is, so we have the drum corps, we have a mass movement, a drum corps of 175, we have a mass movement of 200, we have a 200 choir boys, young kids, young children, school choir, we have a 200 ballet dance, so we have all of that,
okay.
and I've even included the Indian community because remember they were indentured servants that came in the 1700s, hit Grenade. So it's a potpourri of everything, and all of that has to happen in an hour because of the sunlight, right? Because from 4:30 to 5:30, all right. So when you come to that thing, it's just going to be. I have other surprises. I'm not going to tell you, of course, right? I'm not going to give away anything, right? So
just one.
Yeah, well, I just gave you 5. So from that, then when that finishes now, it's going to be there's one. Well, I can't tell you that. No. You have to come and see that one. And I can tell you that. That's a nice surprise. And from that major surprise, then we move on to the stage, right? Then when you get to the stage now, we open with Zidel Jeffrey. We have the police band, the Royal Grenada Police Band, of course. Then Jeffrey, we have Scholar, who is a new monarch.
Independence monarch, yeah.
Monarch. We have Randy Isaac. We have a Jamu, and Specky.
Okay.
Right. So those are the 5 performers onto the stage. And then from that now, it should be like 7:30. It gets dark. So you know what happens when it gets dark?
Boy.
That's going to be spectacular. When it gets dark now, you just look up into the sky and the magic happens. I'm not going to say anymore. So it's going to be a beautiful, exciting day. And it's an experience that everybody, please come in time and get your seats. And, yes, it's going to be a nice event.
Definitely.
Yes.
And the vibe that we're creating as a build-up,
Oh,
trust me.
Yeah.
It's going to make that day even more special.
Yeah.
Even more special. Mr. Kings Douglas, it was a pleasure chatting with you this morning. But before we go, I know you have that Independence play on the way. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, yes. That happens on the 2nd and 3rd of March.
Okay.
Of March. And it's called Journey to Gold. And I'm telling 50 years of politics in 2.5 hours, from Gary to Deacon. So you know what went down from that. So it's done in song, dance, and comedy.
Okay.
So that's at the Trade Center on the 2nd and 3rd of March. It's called Journey to Gold, and tickets go on sale next week. So that's going to be a fun event. That again, it's going to be all the old talk, from Adi Day, from where Susu Bus, Bangladesh Bus, everything from Gary, from Tillman, Thomas, everybody getting a little touch. But it's just showing you the journey of the politicians right up to the
current. Okay.
So it's 50 years in 2.5 hours. So so it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's a nice, fun evening. Yeah. And we have the Youth Quake. There'll be a big choir and the Spice Line dancers. So it's an evening of just wonderful acting, singing, and dancing. Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to bringing my pops as well. He's going to definitely
he's going to love that one. Yes.
He's going to love that. Gary eye to the bone.
Oh, yeah. Actually, let me tell you a quick story before I go. Gary's a man who loved culture.
Right.
He was a real culture man, right? When I was 16 years old, I was a producer at 16. I had my own show.
Okay.
I had my own dance company, theater company at 16 years old. Nobody taught me. God just gave me that gift. And I had my first show in the GBSS auditorium. To enter was $3 to get into that show. So Eric Matthew Gary, who wasn't Sir at the time, he was Premier, was the patron of the evening. It was sold out at $3, anyways, right? And the show, and about 3 weeks later, a motorbike, a policeman with white gloves on a motorbike, drove up Green Street to my mom's house, to my house, knocked on the door. When my mother opened the door, she said, "Oh God, what my son do now?" Thinking I did something terrible. And the police handed me an envelope, and he said, "This is from Eric Matthew Gary." And when I opened it, it was $50 donation to the group of singers and dancers. It was a young boy. That stayed in my head. Imagine a policeman with white gloves driving up.
Official thing.
So I mean that's to tell you the class of the man. He was just that kind of. So things like that stick in people's heads, because another thing too, all the ministers used to have them before you send them away. Used to have them trained, sit at the table and know to eat a knife and fork, know to use which fork, which spoon, you couldn't leave Grenada without that training. That is how he was.
Because you're representing country.
Because you're representing country. Yes. Man.
These are the kind of stories we need.
Yeah.
For sure.
And there's a lot more, huh? There's a lot more from him. Yeah.
Mr. Keynes Douglas, thank you
Yeah.
for all you have done for culture, for country, for youth, for the arts and entertainment field. Thank you so
And
much.
thank you for what you're doing. You're a wonderful announcer, man. You're really, really
Thank
great.
you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure, and I do hope to chat with you very
Yeah.
soon again.
Guidance.
All right? Looking forward to the productions.
Yeah. Thank
that
you,
are
my
coming
friend.
All right.
God bless everybody. Guidance.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Ladies' room for today, Tuesday, guys, are going to be back tomorrow with another one. So thank you so much to Beacon Insurance and Western Union for making it possible.
Ladies' room comes to you compliments of Renwick